What's up? What's up? Morning, rants. Uh, I tell you again. My head hurts, folks. Uh, I didn't say anything yet. What's up, everybody? My morning rant. Good old morning rants. It's good for the soul. First on my agenda. Woo! I had to say something about this movie called The Woman King. I've noticed that they won't give us a King Mansa Musa movie. They won't give us they won't give us a King Shaka Zulu movie. Hell, they won't even give us a goddamn Hannibal movie. A Kebulon, which is the first name Africa ever had as a whole. They won't even give you a Ramsey. I'm supposed to believe women half or a third of my size could take me down in hand-to-hand combat, melee weapons combat. Then they historically and purposely downplayed the fact that they were heavy in the slave trade. Every young black male who has not seen the Shaka Zulu miniseries, go see it. Go see it. You're doing yourself a disservice not watching. I'm going to tell you something real quick. Like, I've been to war, if you haven't noticed. We don't fight as much with melee weapons, but they still occur, especially when you're in an urban environment and you have to raid a building and or house. Rooms get smaller and smaller and smaller. You might have to take a tomahawk, a knife, or deflect something with your arm, kick someone, elbow, knee. The closer the combat, the more vicious you have to be. And it's funny because you have a number of women who constantly like to big up this shit. Now, there's a few ladies, when I mean a few, maybe two or three, who said, yeah, this is some historically inaccurate bullshit. But majority of them, it's some of those simp ass niggas. You seen them on my fucking page on my Facebook. Let the ladies have this one. No. There are queens that you could have talked about who actually did work for the people. There are women in African history or African American history who did greatness. Hell, you literally besmirched the name of probably one of the greatest African American women ever to live, which was Harriet Tubman, with the big and long made up character. You got to stop allowing Hollywood to teach you history. It's no different than that bullshit Color Purple. And look how Color Purple affected us the last 40 years. This is the reason why I get upset about that bullshit. When you teach people misinformation and sometimes disinformation, when you're purposely trying to deceive someone, it gets convoluted. People will believe shit to be true. Oh, the police got a quota. It's illegal to have a fucking quota. It's illegal to say, I need to have insert number here, parking tickets, traffic tickets. That's illegal. People rather believe the sensational lie over the simplistic truth. It's just what it is. But then you get mad and upset when I'm like, why would you celebrate a country? Why would you celebrate a country, the Empire of Dahomey, which is modern day Benin? Why would you celebrate a bunch of fucking so-called female warriors who stood up for the transatlantic slave trade and made a fortune of it? They won't even mention the British had to outlaw slavery in the transatlantic slave trade. Chris, if that bullshit was true, the city will be overrun. 2 to 3% of any population is always going to do wrong shit. If that was true, then every stereotype you hear about black folks will be true. Black folks are lazy. Black folks Don't invent shit. Black folks don't do this. Black men are bad fathers. How many of these stereotypes were proven true? And how many were proven false? 2 to 3% of any organization is usually the amount of what fucks it up. See, what y'all misconstrue as illegal is something that you're not familiar with. See, here's the problem. And I'm going to address what Chris said. Here's the problem. People do not focus on the number of times somebody does right to you. You just zero in on that one incident by that one person and you put the damnation upon the whole group. That's no different than a goddamn racist saying black people are fucked up and he had a bad experience with one black person, or better yet, he didn't have any experience with any black people. He got it from hearsay, which is even worse. Until he has to be forced to sit down with black people, and he's like, and he has to change his mind about what he thought and what he was told. Why? Because the process of learning is a motherfucker. It's an incredibly stewed reality. And guess whose fault it is? Guess whose fault why you don't have a lot of black fathers in black families? Because you live in a culture where black women don't think that fathers are important. Insert black man here. Insert stepdaddy here. If women actually took, but yes, I want you to look at the percentages of how many women file for divorce. I want you to look at the percentages of how many women don't use contraceptives. I want you to look at the percentage of women who think that fathers are important to a society. But see, they don't tell the shit that they've done. Every black woman that you hear in a relationship, it's oddly enough, why is everyone a victim? Statistically, that's impossible. If it's your body and it's your choice to have a baby, then why didn't you pick a better father? It's no different than if I wanted to get married and I pick a shitty wife, that's totally on me. The issue that I have is this is going to galvanize a bunch of retelling of fucking history. And watch a bunch of fucking history teachers, once this is able to be on DVD, Blu-ray, or streamed, watch a bunch of fucking history teachers show this fucking movie like it's a historical record. Watch they show this shit in schools like they did The Color Purple years ago in one of my schools. Like this was some historical event. The main character was made up. That Harriet Tubman movie. Somebody, somewhere, is going to show that shit to some kids and act like that was historical fact. I bet your money on it. Somebody's probably doing it now. Then we forget the first rule of war is propaganda. This is really important for a lot of you to study military science. If you're telling these women that they're as strong and as powerful as men, I wish my reality would dictate to me that that's actually true. I really wish reality would actually tell me it's true. I'm supposed to believe that there's a piece of iron right there in the crook of somebody's throat, and a guy who's 3 times your size, you can actually push against him, and you're this itty bitty woman, and you can overpower him. When in the hell does that happen? And see, this is when women become willing participants to their own destruction. Okay? This is when women are supposed to be willing participants to their destruction. If you're saying you're as big and bad as a man 3 times your size, then why the fuck are you calling the police if it's a domestic violence situation or somebody breaking into your house? Do you want society to treat you like a man? You change your own damn tires. Fight your own battles. Don't forget to hit that Cash App too, man. What happens if we actually treated you like true equals? Here's another historical fact they forget to leave out. 400 plus, the homie Amazons were slaughtered, and the French only lost 6 men. You were not this elite force. Any country, especially in the ancient world, or the post ancient world, that had a large contingency of women in their military got crushed. Those women were not some elite fucking warriors. They were A, the concubines to the king, and then B, they were more bodies for the king to escape. Of course, it's intersexual feminism. And guess who eats that shit up like fucking breakfast? I mean, a good old fashioned Saturday morning country breakfast. But yet, historically, there's a reason why they won't give you a Shaka Zulu movie in the modern day. Because the image of the ultra masculine black male would defeat the narrative. Of course, Harriet Tubman never freed slaves by herself. And she never said she did, which is the amazing part. She loved her brother so much that she formed up a coalition to freedom, to free black men. What'd say about the modern black woman today? No, 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 no. You wouldn't do a goddamn thing because you love your men being in bondage. And how can I prove this? How is it that you have 70 to 80% of the children, but only 10% of the boys, when they reach 8th grade, can read on level? Something fucking has to give. You have the majority stock of children, but yet you're trying to say it's both of our fault. Get the fuck out of here. How many of you chicks run away as soon as you have the baby? You take the baby away from the man. But then when the baby becomes a fuck up, you want to blame the daddy wasn't there. I'm not a mathematician, but last time I checked, 80 is the majority. 80% is the overwhelming majority of the totality of the situation. They'll never even do a movie about how the fucking Ethiopians kicked the fucking Italians' ass twice in history. They won't do it. They won't tell you about the richest man who ever lived, King Mansa Musa of Mali, and how Mali built the first university on the planet. The man was so rich, he gave away gold and caused inflation on his trek to Mecca. There are so many African kings and queens they could have done a movie on, but they chose this one in particular. As a matter of fact, let me ask you this question. When's the last time you saw a black man featured in an action movie as the hero? When's the last time you seen a black man featured prominently in an action or a drama? And he wasn't from the hood. He wasn't selling drugs, trying to become a rapper. He wasn't trying to do some shit to get his brother. Like, come on. When's the last time you seen a prominent black male action hero? Green Lantern, the movie? That was Ryan Reynolds. I want you to compare that to all these movies where in the last 10 years you have female leads, especially. I keep forgetting how young you are, Chris. The name's Static. The show is called Static Shock. The character name is Static. Notice in the whole series, nobody called him Static Shock, just Static. I mean, think about it. You have more black woman action movies in the last few years than black male action movies. Why haven't they reamped Action Jackson? Why haven't they made a modern day Action Jackson? You telling me Marvel and DC couldn't hire Michael Jai White in any action movies or superhero movies? For you to go back, see how I'm getting everybody's brains to actually just configure things? Oh, trust me, Static been out since the 90s. That's Milestone. Shout out to Milestone. But yet, notice we're not prominently in the roles of the hero. How come we can't make up a story of the Buffalo Soldiers? If it wasn't for like a few people who loved it, we would even got Red Wings. Let's go even deeper to that. You telling me we never got a movie of the Harlem Hellfighters? But I'm gonna go even deeper to some shit that I had on my page as well. Why the hell does Kiki, whatever her name is it Wyatt? What we need is a show called A Man Called Falk. That's what we need. A Man Called Falk. Shout out to Big Kev with the super chat. The problem with the woke screenwriting is that they promote identity politics, especially with black women, to distract away from their terrible writing. Facts. Yeah, it's Kiki Palmer, whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah. She wanted to be interested in playing Rogue. See, this is the problem of literary science, and I hope somebody, because I posted the link on my Facebook page, and I hope the people there, they have a perfect opportunity today to speak on it, live and in living color. This is the problem of turning characters white to black. Like the whole spiel about Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Yeah, she's fine as fuck, but she's a little loony. But then again, always the pretty one's always crazy as fuck. Uh, I bet you she got good pussy too because she's crazy. It's true, the crazy ones have the good. See, here's the problem, right? The people in Milestone did not go to DC and say, "Can we make Superman black?" No, they said, "Can we get our own company to make characters that look like us?" Before Miles Morales, you had Static. The original Nick Fury was white. As a matter of fact, a really bad B movie of David Hasselhoff played Nick Fury in a movie. The only reason they got Sam Jackson to okay his image was a promise of putting him in a movie if they get a movie started. Instead of actually, Superman came out in June 1938. Yes. Instead of keeping Rogue, who is a fundamental character of the X-Men, as a white Southern belle, do you know there's over 100 to 200 different fucking X-Men? Hell, do what Batman the Animated Series did with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was never in the comics until Batman the Animated Series. She started out on the show, became so popular they put her into the comics. Everybody who's my age, you remember the cartoon Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends? You had Iceman, who was one of the original X-Men, and you had Firestar, who basically was created for that series. She was never in the comics before then. She became so popular, they put her in the comic book series. But that's too much. But see, this woke writing is so lazy that you can actually create an X-Men character in the movie and have the role for her. But that's too much like fucking right. Shout out to Big Kev again. Notice the black of black folks in science fiction movies. You know what's sad about that? Black people are very, and I've watched I'll get to Donnie Mac in a second. Black people love some science fiction movies, man. From Predator to Aliens to, all that shit. But yet, we don't get the representation. You trying to tell me, and I always had a problem with this in Hollywood. We survived the transatlantic. We survived the trip of the transatlantic slave routes. We survived slavery itself, antebellum slavery. We survived Reconstruction, Jim Crow, civil rights, the crack epidemic, the violence of the 90s, the Y2K shutdown, the housing crisis, COVID, and you think that we're going to be the first motherfuckers killed in a horror movie? Get completely and utterly the fuck out of here. Sorry. Oh, I watched it. For all of you who don't know, go watch that Milestones Generation documentary on HBO Max. You'll learn something. Some good shit. Yeah, I bet you a lot of you didn't know that Firestar was actually created for the show. Just like Harley Quinn was created for the show. But that's called genius. Of course, Morgan Freeman's one of the top actors ever. Black or white, he's one of the top actors ever. I mean, hey, can't do them all. And the last time I checked, Will Smith pocket still ain't hurting. But let's talk about this, right? Why can't we get another Blade with Wesley Snipes? I don't mind the new guy, but I've said this before on one of my live streams. I think Blade is the greatest action movie ever. I think Blade is the greatest action movie ever. Think about this, man. That chick who was in the movie with him, she was fine as a motherfucker, wasn't she? I think that you're right. He didn't just say. Let me correct you for a second, angry black man. Well, one, Wesley Snipes didn't just save Marvel. He saved comic books in its totality. Because you had the big comic book bust that we were still going under during that time, especially when people bought up 100 issues of the death of Superman, thinking that they save it, it'd be worth something. But that's not how it works. If so many people get an issue of it, if so many people buy an issue, the less likely it's going to be considered rare. But he saved comics as a whole. Chris, they switched him from white to black because of what was called the Ultimate Universe back in the 2000s. They did an alternate reality of Marvel. You know, Marvel and DC have several different realities. Called the one was called the Ultimate Universe for Marvel, where you had a much more modern take on the Avengers, Captain America. You had the X Men, the Ultimate X Men, Ultimate Spider Man. That's where you get Miles Morales and other characters. Just so happens Miles Morales became so popular, they brought him to the main continuity. You know, one thing about Disney, when Disney gets some money, they're gonna pimp that bitch. They're gonna pimp that bitch hard. Shout out to Mr. Johnson for the Cash App. Woo! Hit that Cash App, please. The Bush, right? Yeah, she was fine as hell, man. I mean, god damn, she was fine. Blade One and Blade Two. Blade One is probably the greatest action movie of all time. I'm sorry, sorry, you can't fuck with Blade. And here's another thing. If you ever notice about the fucking MCU currently, it's the MCU. Okay, all the men in the MCU currently, they're making them look like they're weak. And I don't have a problem with strong female lead roles. Hell, we all love Sarah Connors. Hell, we all like Ripley. So from the Aliens saga, I would say the greatest. There ain't too many action movies better than that. And I'm gonna tell you, the greatest action movies ever considered: Rambo, Rambo 2, the first no, Terminator 2, Rambo 2, Blade, and you might be able to put Bloodsport in there, maybe. but definitely Blade tops them. Not too many action movies hold a candle to Blade One. Not too many, if any. But the point that I'm getting at is this. You're right. Why not make a Vixen movie? You want to talk about a powerful black female character? This is how I know black females are full of shit. And why would you celebrate Ariel? You really going to compare Taken and 300 to Blade? Let's be serious now. Let's be serious. 300 was cool. Taken was cool. But it doesn't compare to Blade. Now, I'll give you the first Predator movie. I'll give you Die Hard. But Blade still edges Die Hard out. But back to what I was saying. This is why I say the black females who wanted Ariel to be black so badly are full of shit. Vixen is literally one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics. They have a thing called the Green where Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy can access and control plant life. How the fuck is Taken better than... Go watch Blade and then go watch Taken. And I'll put $50 fucking on that bullshit. But anyway, shout out to Electrician 480. Woo! I'm gonna tell you something about the Ariel shit. Right now, let me see where I was before I got distracted. You got somebody who can access the abilities of all the animal kingdom, past, present, and future. I'm looking. Where are the black women? Where are the black women saying we want a Vixen movie? You want to talk about powerful? Where are the bitches asking for this? It's not. See, this is how I know that your generation doesn't understand anything about movies. It's not about box selling movies. I'm going to explain something to you about economics. Right now, it would cost you, back in 1982, 40 years ago when I was born, $1,000 back then equals $3,000 now. Excuse me. $1,000 now would equal $3,000 back then. So you're going to pay more for movie tickets because the fucking inflation and cost of living went up. It does not mean it's a better movie. Look at the fucking movie and look at the movie. Because I pretty much will bet you $1 to everything. If I put up a fucking poll right now that says what was a better action movie, Taken or Blade, hardly anybody would say Taken. The choreography alone tops fucking Taken. Okay? The smoothness of the movie tops Taken. In the words of the Reading Rainbow, you ain't gotta take my word for it. Contract Killers was a better movie to me. With Jet Li. But once again, back to what I'm saying. Yeah, Vixen is a badass character. But guess what? It's not what interests you more, because guess what? There's some things that are just going to be better. There's some things about to be better. I could put up a TV that could cost $1,000, and I could get a TV that's worth $500. If that performance of that TV is better at $500, then it's better. There's no argument over that. It's not even comparable. There's the fucked up part. It's not even comparable. You gotta understand something. Blade was so good, it saved the comic book industry. When the fuck did Taken ever do that? That's how you gotta know. And then here's my fucking view. You got all these characters who are black. A lot of people don't know this. Ariel's best friend in The Little Mermaid was a black female. Why not tell her story? No, because you want to be the white woman inside. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. You want to be the white woman. See, black women want the role of the white woman because that's who they really want to be. That's who they really want to be. Yep, some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. Oh, they won't talk about. Oh, that's another one. They won't talk about one of, if not the smartest person in the Marvel universe, Moon Girl. They won't talk about. Let's get a Moon Girl. And Bay, you laughing, but you know it's true. They want that white girl inside to come out. I'm really am beautiful to white Chad. Instead of being proud of the characters that are black. Matter of fact, Chris, you still there? Most likely because you're about 22. That means you grew up during the time of the Justice League animated series on Cartoon Network. So your generation never saw Hal Jordan. Your generation remembers John Stewart as Green Lantern. Think about this, right? Why don't they beg for a John Stewart Green Lantern movie? Because most people who are 25 and under remember John Stewart from the series. Uh oh. And see, this is how I know. Oh, let's not go to Mr. Terrific, a guy who's even smarter than Batman. Bay said this black female fragility over white acceptance is what woke culture is all about. Stop it. Stop it. But no, no, you are never going to see this shit. You won't even talk about Black Warrior Kings. Black women are the weirdest creatures in the world. You complain about fucking. You'll complain about fucking being called masculine, but you big up the woman king, right? Fucking ridiculous. Let's talk about Diggle. He was made for the show, then put in Green Arrow, and put in the comic books. How many saying we need a Diggle movie? He's the head of a goddamn spy. I mean, guess what? A lot of y'all may sleep on this show, but Superman and Lois is pretty fucking good. And the guy they got playing John Stewart, like not John Stewart, John Henry Adams. It's a good damn actor. And they got Diggle crossing over, and he's gonna be working for Argus. What about Rocket and Icon? A lot of y'all probably won't like Rocket. Y'all say y'all want Icon, but a lot of you won't like him because Icon is conservative. That shows you black men and black characters are actually multifaceted. And shout out to Two Trev and Bruce Almighty for the Cash App support. Hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat. We going in this morning. I got a little bit of time. And yeah, Diggle was about to get that goddamn ring. He's still worthy of getting that ring. He might still. John Stewart was a conservative. He was a Marine and used his GI Bill to become an architect. Talk about multifaceted. Well, it's supposed to be John Henry Irons. My bad. John Henry Irons. You got Bumblebee. You got a lot of characters. I mean, I never get this right. If y'all really want to see representation, why don't y'all holler about that Cyborg movie and get your boy some work? What's Homeboy's name who played Cyborg? And thank God for the Snyder cut because they cut out 90% of his dialogue and actions and interactions with him and his father. Yeah. Lois and Superman and Lois actually does something that a lot of these superhero genres don't do. They're damn near woke free. They actually tell a good story about family and family values and family sticking together. And then you have a black man in it who's not subservient to the white guy. And he's taking care of his own daughter. Of course, they don't like Ray Fisher because Ray Fisher told the truth of how much they cut out his role in that goddamn movie. But where's all the people saying we need a fucking cyborg movie? Bring back Ray Fisher. What about Nubia? Oh, he was fucking the Kryptonians up, man. He was fucking them up. And by the way, John Henry Irons is a fucking genius because he made a suit that could go toe to toe with Superman. Think about that. And still be light enough to fly. You don't want representation, you want acceptance. Matter of fact, I was watching on HBO Max last night the show Tom Swift. I'll give them credit. You had a trans man and an openly gay man as the lead roles. Even though I think it was a lot too much, a lot of the sexuality stuff overtook the story, which was interesting. But yet, at least you knew the character was gay from the first episode off the rip. I'll give them credit for that one. If you want representation, start it off with a character, with a new character, and just build from there. Luke Fox, Batwing. I'm going to say it again for you, Bruce Almighty. With the Spine Buster coming, man, that DDT. I'm gonna say this again. They don't want representation. They want acceptance. You're too lazy to make your own stories. Yep. Even in the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie, which is a fucking masterpiece, think about how much power they displayed with him just going through all the world's computers. That wasn't stunning Steve Austin. That was Alex Wright and Arn Anderson. Boom. Oh, Patriot. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring Patriot out. Why don't we sign a petition for Blue Marvel? Better yet, while you're doing the Blue Marvel, why don't we sign a petition for Charles Faulkner, who's already in Baltimore, to play Isaiah Bradley, the first Captain America? Marvel, if you're listening, I'm coming for your ass. Isaiah Bradley is already in Baltimore. Super Soldiers are from Baltimore. T-shirts coming out soon. Shout out to the Rocky King. Here's some dad for the dope ass stream. Yeah, Soups and Lois is great. Catching up on season 2. Like Sci-Fi's Krypton 2 series too. Yeah. I want to play the role of Isaiah Bradley. 1, I'm a war vet. 2, I'm not that bad off in shape. And I'm willing to put in a good 3 to 6 months to get in comic book shape. 3, I'm from Baltimore. 4, you have a living in Baltimore. 5, it makes fucking sense. And unbelievable as a Captain America. Somebody start that petition to Marvel now. We want Faulkner as Isaiah Bradley. Shout out to the Snowman and Kareem in the building. But yeah, you got plenty of fucking characters, plenty of fucking stories about black kings and queens who defeated the Europeans. But there's a reason why I tell you there's not going to be a King Shaka movie anytime. It's because you don't want to see a black man victorious. Hello. 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 Start the God damn it, start the petition to Marvel now. I am Isaiah Bradley. See, think about this. King Shaka, whose tactics are still used in every modern war college today, never had to face the British toe to toe because he scared the living fuck out of them using the same tactics you see the special forces use today. Think about that. You don't want to see a movie where a black man is outshining and sunning a white one. They were scared shitless of Shaka. It took them like what 150 years before they actually attacked them, or 100 years, or no, about 50 years. About 50 years before they even tried to fight the Zulus. Shaka was even better than 300. The dialogue alone outshined 300. Especially the scene where when the missionaries came up there, and he said, "Who is this? This is Christ, our King, our Lord. Is he greater than King George? Yes, yes, he's even greater. So where is he? He died. Interesting. Shaka died. Well, he's gonna come back. Interesting. Shaka came back. But you gotta understand, King Shaka. He owns the land and the sky. So does Shaka. Why am I speaking to you? Bring me this Jesus, so we can speak king to king and God to God." They're not gonna show you scenes like that on how a proud black man speaks to people. They're never gonna show you that shit. But I'm supposed to see a fictional fucking woman take down a man 3 times her size just for her to be called the woman king. And shame on you black women who support this shit, because you are the accomplices to your own destruction, because you're the ones who claim that we're always looked at as manly. They don't want to see the story of a self-made man. They just want to give you slave movies just to remind you of why we put you under our boot. But they'll give movies to galvanize the chicks who were destroying our communities. Where's the Reginald F. Lewis movie? Speaking of Baltimoreans, the first black billionaire. Yeah, by the way, the first black billionaire came from Baltimore. How you like them fucking apples? Shout out to Reginald F. Lewis, a financial genius. Well, we can't give you that one, but we got a couple of slave movies you can watch. Hold on for a second, folks. I'm back. Got a bunch of goddamn slave movies. Got a bunch of We Shall Overcome movies. And you wonder why this is important. Because a fucking C-level wannabe comedian, B. Simone, can disrespect a black man of such esteemed culture and skill of a Dr. Martin Luther King and call him a bad man. Who the fuck are you, bitch? You're a bad person altogether, a bad comedian, a bad actress. Nobody wants you. Get the fuck out of here. And that's the reason why all this shit is taken seriously. That's why it's sad. But yet you want to be the Little Mermaid. No, you just want to be a white woman. And by the way, how much is it? How much money you want to bet the love interest is going to be a white boy? The love interest is going to be a white boy. What's up, babe?
What's up, man? I just posted in your comment section that because this movie here, like this Woman King and all this stuff, what you're getting, and this is what kills me. Black people are so enamored with white created torture porn. Okay, I'm so the last quote unquote slave movie I went to go see was The Birth of a Nation by Parker. Was that his brother's name? Nate Parker. Yeah, I went to go see that. That was the last movie I saw because it was told from our perspective about a black hero.
Exactly.
Right, because if you notice, and this is the difference between our heroes and their heroes. White heroes are either villainous people, they're either genocidal, homicidal, but freaking rapists. All right, where ours actually fight for our interests, freeing ourselves or fighting against them. Those are our heroes, and our heroes are actually real life heroes. But getting back to it, these slave movies written by white folks, this freaking Ariel movie, which I don't care what black folks say, this is pandering.
Exactly.
Because as I was trying to explain the other day, like y'all, because people aren't up on what's going on in Hollywood and entertainment and whatnot, as far as black folks. We all worried about relationships and passports and whatnot. But what they don't seem to understand is that right now, the biggest conglomerate, media conglomerate, as far as entertainment conglomerate, Disney, they're hemorrhaging money left and right. They've increased the tickets to the parks. Marvel is the only thing that's really keeping them going. If you notice, they throw everything on the streaming service. If people haven't noticed that, the content is watered down because Jon Favreau's not there. So you got shit like She-Hulk twerking, and you got black women sitting up here like, yeah, that's women's empowerment. And I'm like, how the fuck is you shaking your ass empowering? Am I making sense here? Am I talking to myself?
Pretty much. That's why I'm letting you roll. Keep rolling.
Okay. So this Ariel movie. This is a quick cash grab. It's a quick cash grab. And somebody said to me, well, if they really want to make some money, why don't they just leave her white? Like, because white folks have stopped going to see the same bullshit over and over and over again, especially when, as they've been making movies since 2015, 16, with all of this woke bullshit, this white lesbian feminist ideology where men are weak and stupid and incompetent and they're the enemy, and somehow the white woman is, you know, the Mary Sue. And now they got with this movie like the woman king or whatever. The whole narrative is that, because I just watched T. Hassan Johnson's take on it, because I'm not spending money on that shit, where he was saying that the Lonnie tribe, they were made the homie, I'm sorry, the homies, as in Dahomie, as the homies tribe was made up of women who were captured and being raped. So they went and saved them, and now all of a sudden this is why they hate men and all of this bullshit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you expect
Yeah.
me to spend my hard-earned money to go see some white lesbian feminist ideology, okay, in black skin, because this is what white lesbian feminists do. They get a hold of black women, they capture black women's mind, and then they rewrite history and try to turn your woman against you on some freaking, you know, let's eat each other's pussy type of deal. You don't need men. If you date a man, you'll lose your power. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, please show me all these women out here that are single that are powerful.
Yeah. They're most vulnerable.
Show it to me.
And
Because
then,
thank you. You are the most vulnerable. There was a video I was talking about the other day, last week, where some white, this was broad daylight. This girl and her mom was coming back from breakfast. Okay, because they got that ring cam. You see the mom and the daughter come in the house. 2 minutes later, here come this girl's ex-boyfriend from 2-3 years ago, that suddenly within the past 30 days was texting her, trying to get up with her, but she was ignoring his text. He come trying to literally break in the house, broad daylight, 11 o'clock in the morning, trying to get to the girl. The father was in the house, told the man, hey, I got a gun, but he kept coming. And he put 3 in that motherfucker's chest, right through the door. If the father wasn't there, do you think, you know, independent woman, strong independent woman, do you think they'd have been able to stave him off?
he would have had their way with him.
Of course, he probably would have killed the mom and raped and killed the daughter, or whatever the hell he planned on doing. But I'm supposed to believe that you, as a woman, you're better off by yourself. And the messed up part was how the video ended. Like, when the cops was there, the girl, the daughter, was hugging her dad. Like, thank God dad was here. Thank God. Thank you, dad, for saving me. But I'm supposed to believe you better off by yourself. Another video. What happened? Because he wasn't 15 and he wasn't 12. Some teenager, some mentally challenged teenage boy, the one who destroyed his mama's house. They tried to say it was over a cell phone, but the mother was like, no, that's not it. He didn't destroy the house over a cell phone, and he's not, you know, like, he's over the age of 15. He's 6'2", 200 something pounds. His brother was damn near as big as you, especially when you saw the damage to the house. Do you think that would have happened if that boy's father was there in the house?
Even if the father was shorter and smaller, that wouldn't have happened.
Hell no. He'd have whooped that. They'd have been fighting. They'd have been fighting. The house would have been towed up, or it'd have been confined to one room, but the father would have, they'd have towed it up, because the father would have been trying to whoop that motherfucker's ass. And he probably would have whooped his ass, because there's no way in hell that you're going to come out genetically bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm some small guy fucking a big, tall, fat bitch. So let me stop. I'm being evil early in the morning. But you get the idea. You get the idea. I know, like, ain't no way in hell
Yeah.
you would let your son at 17, 18, 19 years old throw a hissy fit and start tearing stuff up. I 100% guarantee you he would think twice while standing there seething, mad at what you may have done to him or whatever it was.
There's times I told my nephew, and my son, he's taller than me now, basically. I'm gonna put the fear of God in you early and let you know. You may hit me. Cool. But you know I'm gonna hit you back, and I'm gonna hit you 10 times harder than what you hit me. And then I gotta remember you're related to me because I live by one rule: nothing I feed bites my hand. She's afraid of her son. She was afraid. See, black women live off this slavery mentality: beat them, beat them, beat them. When they're too old to control and beat, you throw them the fuck out. But go into that part, Bay.
Dude, look, I told y'all before, the last time my mother caught herself trying to put her hands on me was when I was 14 years old. You know, I grabbed her little wrist. She trying to whoop me. I grabbed the belt, and it was over something so stupid. And then she called herself trying to put her hands on me, and I grabbed her little wrists and put them to her side and told her, "Hey, yo, chill out. Talk to me." You know, because I was way past the age of, physical discipline, especially from a woman. And it's not that I hate women or have anything against that. It's just that, don't put your fucking hands on me. If you got a problem with me, talk to me. Because I abhor physical violence exerted on me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't cost me no money. We can deal.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy because a lot of times in the black community, we get this image problem. One, we think that beating is always the set. There are certain times that you have to use force, and there are certain times you need words.
Yeah.
And like I told people, discipline without love is abuse. Put that in the chat, please. Somebody put it in memoriam. Discipline without love is abuse. A lot of these children raised in the black community are not loved.
They're beaten into submission, or tried so-called people try to beat them into submission.
See, the
And
problem is in the black community. What's up, Shawnee? Um, the problem with the black community, we do not teach our boys to be leaders. We want to beat them. We want to beat the confidence out of them. See, the problem is this. I remember a little cousin was out acting a fool, and my aunt and her husband couldn't handle him. I said, "Okay, give him to me." I said, first of all, I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to make you do push-ups
I'm
until
gonna
I
make
get
you
done.
punish yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to make you squat with your hands out. See, the problem is of boys that people have never thought. Boys are hierarchical. Hierarchical. We live in a hierarchy, whether we want to admit or not. Boys want a hierarchy.
Some boys actually grow into men who submit to female hierarchy. They
Yeah.
submit to the female power structure. And therefore,
You,
this is why you have grown ass men out here. And this is what kills me. Because we've seen these videos where a brother, a dude, a black man could be. We've seen these videos where a black man is having an argument with his mother, and then in comes some blue pill cuck
simp, knock
simp.
him out.
Yeah, come and put his hands on him. Like, first and foremost, motherfucker, that's assault. Your ass is going to jail. Secondly, you didn't change shit because he's going to go back home. And things are not going to change. If anything, you just made things worse. You just made things worse because you don't know that home situation. You don't know what he went through. I don't give a fuck if your mama is dead or not. Well, then I tell you what, you take mine then. If you think I'm treating my mother wrong, I'm conferring to the video. If you think I'm treating my mother wrong, then here, she can move in with you. You take care of her then. Let her, you are now her son. She's now your mother. Good luck.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, right? I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. It's like I talked about before. I've heard stories of even one of my wrestlers when I told you, and you even said quoted on this. You see the boy working overnight, he can't get a key. Why don't you give him a key if he lives there? See, anywhere else in our community, and I remember listening to this video about girls, or you ever notice that? Oh, let me back up for a second. You ever notice when they do a comparison of black girls, they never do the comparison of black boys? Because it will be astronomical the difference of how well girls are treated in our community than the boys. But they're going to compare them to white women because they know they got something. How many times? How does your 13-year-old sister have a key, but at 1920 you don't have a key?
Look, I've never had to go through that. I don't believe any of my, because you know I got a lot of cousins. I don't believe any of my cousins had to go through that because that's just fucking stupid. But then again, at the same time, I have, let's see, I would say, let's see, I only have two boy cousins. You know, so you're talking about 4, 11, 12, you're talking about 13. Talking about 13 cousins. Two of them are boys. All right. And two of them are also in the same, come from, they have the same mother. I got 5 aunts, 4 uncles. One of them, well, 5 uncles, one of them's dead. But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were greatly outnumbered, but for my aunt to be stupid enough not to give my male cousin a key to the house, but give it to her daughters, give one to her daughters, she would have got slapped upside the fucking head for that.
Yeah.
Because you don't treat, this is the beauty that I mean, and I know I keep saying this and motherfuckers act like I'm bragging or trying to act like I'm special or whatnot, but that's not the case. It's a matter of where you come from. My grandmother, no matter what it was, okay, there were some structures in place where no, you don't treat the boys like that. Okay. 5 boys, 5 girls, you don't show preferential treatment like that. Because what will happen is exactly what you're seeing now. Okay. Well, boys don't give a fuck about their moms. There are videos out here where boys have beat that grown men now have beat the shit out of their mamas out in the streets. Okay, have killed their mothers. We've seen this stuff.
But wait a minute. I thought they were warrior queens and shit, and warrior, the woman kings and all this other made up shit that they call themselves.
Yeah, well, reality versus white Hollywood fantasy are two different things. Two different things.
It's
You can
sad
paint a
because
narrative all you want to. Doesn't mean it's the truth.
when you think about this, right? A lot of women don't understand why you need men. If men are not around, who's protecting you? Who's leading you? See, this is the problem. Every woman that's not married after a certain age, I'm like, okay, what did you do? It comes in the back of my mind. What did you do? Comes in the back of my mind. You you gotta look at this, man. The the overwhelming majority of these women who defend this shit is because one, y'all really love this faux lesbian bullshit. You really think and want to try to challenge a man physically. This is like feminine, like you said, feminist porn. Like we can, and there's this one scene where they got this little iron rod against this man, and she's pushing against it. I've coached wrestling for 20 years. I've coached combat sports for a long time, man. I've never seen not one time a woman physically overpower a man. I've never seen it unless if they're competing and they're going at equal ferocity. I've never seen her win. Now, there's one thing about some skill, and even then, there's still a reason why we have weight classes. No matter how much
That's
skill you have, physical strength is something else.
reality. Okay, I hear what you're saying. Just quick interjection. Reality is not a Hollywood script simply because you see what's going on with the trans athletes in women's sports,
Yeah,
especially physical contact, where
yeah,
the one trans guy he done cracked 2 skulls in MMA.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck how many hormone blockers and testosterone killers and all that stuff. Sorry, and stuff that you take. Sorry, physicality.
Oh yeah, by the way, a lot of people don't know this. Estrogen, when you give a guy estrogen, that solidifies his bone density.
So he becomes a whole lot stronger.
So that means he keeps the same bone density he had when he was a so-called male. It's like you ever seen the first X-Men movie when the guy punched Wolverine in the head and broke his hand, and then he punched the guy and knocked him out cold. That's pretty much the same fucking thing. You're solidifying that bone density. We need to stop and look at it and say there are physical differences between men and women that nature put us in certain roles. I remember the lady I talked to. She like, you all about them gender roles. I said, wait a minute. You're saying that we have no gender roles, be careful what you say, because if you ever get in a fight with a man, don't call for help because it's equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't. Well, I said, no, no, no. Do you really think that you could take a guy like me on, same size, same strength, same skill, in a fair fight? I said, here's the problem. This is how I know your education is indoctrination. You believe this bullshit and think that, oh, I could fight this man, I could take him because I watched the Warrior Queen. See, people don't remember this shit.
the Rocky Balboa joke.
Yeah, yeah, it's
For
the
those who
Rocky
are not
Balboa
familiar,
joke.
yeah, for those not familiar, was it Eddie Murphy Raw or Delirious?
I think it might have been Raw.
Yeah, where he talked about when he went to go see Rocky, and little 5'2" little Italian white man come out talking to the 6'3", 300-pound black man, tells him, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some juju fruits and some popcorn, and the niggers here are gonna pay for it." Italian white man with a box of juicy fruit stuck up his ass.
But yeah, but I've seen it where these chicks think they could beat up a man. I fight men. Well, bitch, you never talk about winning.
Yeah, because there is no winning unless he just pussies out and not the type to hit you back. I mean, but I've never like literally flat out just punched a woman, but having been attacked by women in my early life, like I will small package the shit out of your ass until you done crying. You will cry and cry and cry. Then I'll be like, you done? Yeah, okay, and get the fuck away from me and go sit the fuck down. Oh, and by the way, the relationship's over because I don't play this shit.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's times I look at a female like she mad and want to square up with me. I'm like, do you really want to do this? I said, do me a favor, put this gi on and put these shin pads on in this boxing. Why? Because we're gonna make it totally legal. I tell you, man, nothing's funny until you see a chick try to charge at you. You give her one of those Captain America front kicks to the chest. Boom! What have we learned? Like if men like Kevin Samuel said, men have this low threat of violence that keeps us in check with each other. I don't care if I'm bigger, stronger than Bay. There's just some fights you just don't want to have. Be like, there's a chance this guy could kill me, and there's a chance I could kill him. Okay, I'm gonna treat this guy with some respect.
Yeah, because I've gotten into arguments. Like this is back when I was working on and I was in Ohio working at a job. I've gotten into arguments with a guy that was your size. You know what I'm saying? Your size. We getting into it. But it's like I will assert myself. I'm gonna talk to you and let you know where I am the way that I talk, but I'm not going to I put like this because of that low level threat of violence, I know how far I can take it.
Yeah.
Women don't know that line.
Nah, and that's the biggest problem where their mothers and fathers have failed them. You're not supposed. What happened to that chick in New York who hit the cop and she got
Oh,
floored?
she got knocked the fuck out, and people was trying to say the cop was wrong. Like, no, that bitch got what she deserved.
And then her grandmother, her grandmother looked like Esther Roll's stunt double and shit. You're not supposed to put your hands on no female, but a female could put their hands. I remember when I was out with my ex Sharon years ago, went to the cigar and cognac party. I swear to God, black women are delusional. You truly are. These older women, 45 and up, in their 50s. Well, you telling me you would call the police if I punched you? I said I would knock you the fuck out, and then I'm gonna call the police. Well, you telling me as big and strong as you, so I don't have nerve endings, I don't bleed. You would go to jail, and I would sue you, and I would make sure if you were married to me, I would divorce you on those grounds, and I would have a peace order for you to stay away from me and any kids we create. She was like,
That's that.
"That's
That comes from slavery. That comes from slavery, where they used to say that we as black people, we don't feel pain like everybody else does.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't feel pain like anybody else do. And also how black women were given domain, Aunt Jemima domain over the plantation bucks and whatnot. Yeah, you get that what do they, God damn it. Not what am I trying to say? Not misogyny, not what am I thinking of? It's still early in the morning. What is the word I'm thinking of?
Sandra."
Not misandry, not misandry, but it's under the guise of where I just said it. You can beat somebody. You think you can beat and browbeat somebody into submission, where you try to use psychological tricks
Yeah,
to keep people in line.
yeah.
All
And,
right.
and and you telling me this movie isn't gonna galvanize a bunch of women thinking they could beat up men?
Get y'all asses kicked. Black men don't like y'all like that no more. That's the fucked up part that I don't think a lot of black women seem to understand is that black men do not look. Black men have lost a lot of respect for black women, and it's not out of the blue because of how your single mama ass raised your boys to where they grew up having no respect for their mothers or women. The funny thing about men who like to put their hands on women and rape women and all that stuff, if you look at their childhood, they didn't come from pristine two family homes out in the suburbs, 3 bedroom, 2 car garage, all of that stuff. Nope. They come from tragic beginnings. Mother was abusive. Father was an alcoholic, not in and out of their lives. Mother was too hands-on. And now, as much as they sit up here and claim that they love their mothers, they got kidnapped women in the basement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kidnap women in the basement. Chicks are getting their skulls split. And now you want to sit up here and watch a movie like this and think you can go out here and talk any old kind of way you want to men who no longer have respect for you, especially my generation and below, who grew up with nothing on TV and media saying that black men ain't this, black men ain't that, but somehow you think we now supposed to have some type of respect for you. Like, you're lucky that you get respect nowadays. As a
Yeah.
black woman, you're lucky you get general respect. It's not uh, it's not all black women, but
Of
you
course
don't
not.
know. It's just like you don't know who's the racist white cop. Shit, you don't even know who's the fucking self-hating black cop
Exactly.
until you come across them.
It,
So
it
you have to see them all the same until proven otherwise.
it's sad because, like, look, I've
I'm
always told
sorry for black girls today.
I've always told black women, if you love black men so much, how are you raising your boys? You got 80% of the children. Only 10% of the boys can read on level out of that 80%. You don't
Just
love
look
them.
at the spelling.
You don't
Sorry.
love them. And I know I posted this shit twice in my Facebook. I know you don't like your boys. I know you don't. You detest them, especially if they look like the father that you wish to control. It's disgusting. If we would have said anything about any other race of people, it would be disgusting.
Disgusting.
And see, here's the hypocrisy of it. In you'll tell your girl to go get an education so she doesn't have to depend on a man, but you go tell your boy he should get a job to help pay for bills he never created.
While at the same time, you got these women running around here hollering and crying and screaming about high value men.
Uh-huh.
You can't don't depend on no man crying about high value men and then turning around and trying to shame men who don't want to deal with you, who want to leave the country, they want to get passports, they want to date Becky's and Maria's and Ling Lings and whatnot, but yet you mad. It's just like, matter of fact, this passport thing. This is what killed me. It's no different than when Marcus Garvey was trying to get black people to repatriate back to Africa. You know, as much as white people sit up there and scream, "Oh, nigga, go back to Africa, go back to Africa," and when we say okay and we packing our shit and we ready to get on the boat, here you come sabotaging the boats. But like, will you make up your fucking mind? Do you want us to stay or do you want us to go?
Uh-huh.
Because if we gonna stay, then there's going to be conditions. And if you ain't gonna let us leave, then we'll just tear this motherfucker up until you kick us out. Or you decide to kill us. And now what do you have now? You got women like Cynthia G saying abort black male fetuses. Okay.
That's
You
how
got
you
women
know.
sitting up here trying to swirl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, well then, and I say, get the fuck on. If you want to swirl, go ahead. I'm not
Nobody.
stopping you. As a conscious black man, since I was 15 years old, I have never been sexually racist. I've never been sexually racist. To me, a woman is a woman. It's all about how you treat me. So I have no problems with you swirling. But if you gonna swirl, don't do it because you don't like black men.
You
Okay?
don't even
Don't,
have a
or
legitimate reason of not liking black men. That's the
I
fucked up.
take that back. I take that back. You cannot like black men. It's just that I don't need to hear your fucking mouth about it. Swirl in peace, bitch.
Yeah. You don't hear black men. I'm with a white chick. You see us going to the swirling community with white women saying that, oh, we're gonna get with them.
I've heard it. I've heard black men say that. I've heard
It's
black
fair.
men say that. But at the same time, that's not the majority of why black that's not the reason why black men do it. You got some lame brains who of course speak like that. All right. And it's always and when they excuse me, when they talk like that, it's always a superficial reason, just like with black women. It's always a superficial reason. You date you date at your level. You date at your level, which is impoverished,
Mhm.
less than $30,000 men. Those are who you fuck with. You got 2, 3 babies by these fucking losers. Now
Yep.
you mad. Now you want to get out the hood. You think some white man gonna save you. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you can go and get you a bottom shelf Brad all you want to. What and this is what a lot of swirlers have found out that have dated these little bottom shelf Brads, because not everybody's gonna get Gary Winthrop the third. You have to be in that cipher. But at any rate, they get these bottom shelf Brads and realize that damn, he's no different than the black men I used to date. He just got a different skin color.
And
And his
sometimes he
culture is
may end up
different.
and sometimes he may end up worse. Here's the
Yeah.
crazy part. But a lot of these swirlers will date poorer white men than they do black men.
And talk shit about black men. Like, prime example, what's the chick's name that the queen swirler? Kerosene.
Curves, a crystal and Curzon.
Crystalline Kerosene. She got knocked up by a brother trying to trap him with a baby. He was like, bitch, I told you I ain't want no kids. And he was like, look, I'll pay my child support, but I'm out. She turned around, had to have you seen a picture of her husband? Well, her
Mhm.
ex-husband.
Oh, the
Yeah, that
ex husband.
motherfucker.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Ain't no
whitest motherfucker she could. The
wasn't
whitest
no white
motherfucker
women
she could
checking for
find.
him. Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't no white women checking for him.
And then
Motherfucker look like I got
I'm gonna put this out there and let you finish real quick.
go ahead.
A lot of y'all are dating the rejects of the white world. Y'all know that?
Yeah, yeah. And guess what? As much as she sat up there for years and bragged about her husband's income and his family's money and all of this shit, come to find out her Maxie's father, her black daughter's father, this motherfucker's he making triple the money than her husband, her white husband. Come to find that out, the dude is doing very well. So it ain't like she got knocked up by Dusty or anything. It ain't like she got knocked up by a Pookie or Ray Ray. She purposely got pregnant by a black man that was actually going somewhere in his life. And he was red pill like a motherfucker. He was like, yeah, I'll take care of my daughter, but I'm not going to take care of you. He peeped the game. He saw the psychology, the sickness within her. And her whole marriage and whole channel and all of her little swirling, all of that. No different than, well, Cynthia G is a little different, you know, because of her humble beginnings. But the whole thing was that her whole channel was based on her being upset that she got rejected by this very, very, very well-to-do black man. Whereas in Cynthia G's case was that she got her ass kicked by white people and decided to flip and start talking about black people. And then she doubled down when that whole situation between her and Rob happened, where, yeah, you got pregnant by him. And then you thought that, you know, you was going to be with him and all this stuff. But he was like, bitch, you crazy. Like, I wish I would have pulled out. But he's taking care of his daughter. But all of her venom and hatred you can see is really directed towards her father and Rob. But she won't come out and say it. So we all have to suffer.
She won't say it because Cynthia, she's going to talk about the fact that her father got high in front of her face when she was a little girl. She won't say that, will she? Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I thought it was something.
She probably would. Yeah, she probably would tell that story if somebody pressed her on it.
Because first and foremost, I would ask her, that's the reason why I asked her that shit years ago. What's the opposite of a beta male coon? If you can't give me one example of a good black man, then I know
you kind of broke up there.
What's the opposite of a beta male coon? When I asked her that shit on BGS's panel,
and
she couldn't answer. She stopped right in the middle of a sentence because she knew if you answered, the next question would be like, "Why don't you have them?"
Exactly.
She did. If she didn't because she didn't answer, it already says you're full of shit.
Where's your alpha man's Zulu? Where's your Zulu alpha man?
Is this your king? Is this your king?
Right. Because in all honesty, from what we understand from people who know the situation between Rob and Cynthia personally, because you hear about it, like this one chick, she was on a Red Supreme's channel talking about, she spilled all the freaking tea. She was like, Rob take care of all his kids. Rob, when his baby mamas have problems, you know, financially, Rob steps up. Rob steps up. Like, Rob is a damn good, and Cynthia G admitted this. Rob is a damn good father to his kids. That's why she went ahead and didn't let the birth control or the morning after pill or anything, because that's what she wanted. She wanted what she couldn't have as a child. She wanted to give that to her child, which was a stable home life with a good father. That's why we asked her when she was asked, why the hell did you get pregnant by a man who already got 5 baby mamas? Well, he's a good father.
But yet, if black men who have been seen by the CDC as the best fathers on earth, why do you call us beta male coons and all this other shit? Majority of us don't even date white women. Majority of us still date within our race.
Again, all of that is based on her personal dealings. A man not picking her, not choosing her, a strong black man, strong not physically but mentally, a capable black man not picking her as a wife. Unfortunately, he made her a mother, but he did not make her a wife.
What did I always say? Men choose women. Women pick fathers. Men choose wives.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't care how much you slob the knob and make the apple pies and all of that stuff. If a man does not value you like that, your little trickeries will not come through. They will not work unless you're dealing with somebody that's weak. This is why a lot of these marriages, you know why a lot of these marriages don't last, or especially a black one, don't last past the 5 year mark? Because motherfuckers get married for the wrong reasons. The dude gets married for the wrong reasons. And then he
Yeah.
winds up paying for it afterwards for the rest of his life. If he can come away unscathed without any children or without having to pay alimony or having to split any assets, I mean, maybe you might have to split a house if you bought one with her, but I'm talking about the average man because we're not all celebrities. All of us ain't banking and rolling and popping bottles like that. But as an average man, if you get divorced within a 5 year period and you have no kids, y'all ain't got no kids, you know, y'all good. You'll be good. You'll come away unscathed. You'll come away unscathed. If you're gonna be a man, look, okay, I'm gonna give a little advice to brothers because my father told me this. He said, "Don't even entertain the idea of marriage until you hit 30. Until you hit 30, because in your 20s you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're trying to figure out your life. You trying to get your career established. That is, if you're trying to get a career or trying to have one, and you in your 20s should be the time where all you do is fuck bitches and get money. Just stack, 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 stack. Get yourself situated. Get your shit collected. And once you have matured mentally, once you've matured mentally and you've dealt with enough women to where now you know the games that they like to play and they little code language and all of this stuff, as an adult male, then you can go ahead and step into what would be considered a serious relationship, okay? And know all the tricks of the trade and how to handle them and all of that stuff. But a lot of brothers don't do that.
And the reason why is because you truly live in a gynocracy. What's up, Josh? You truly live in a gynocracy where you think the same way your body affects you is the same way it goes for a woman. Women try to get you, oh, you should settle down. I don't think a man should settle down in a real relationship till he's 35, 40. I really don't think so. You should date, but you shouldn't take them seriously. I feel
Why do you think so many older men date younger women?
exactly. It evens out.
Yeah.
We look for fertility, and then we're physically stable. All you gotta do is stay in shape. And
Yep. Stay in shape and don't fuck up.
yeah, here's the fucking part. A lot of these chicks just want you for one thing, and that's just reproduction
Well, two things you forgot.
and money.
Yeah, reproduction and resources. But that's okay because what are the main two things that we want women for?
Beauty and vitality and for reproduction. I ain't trying to have no ugly kids.
So I guess you could say three. But that's the trade-off. This is the whole thing that women don't want to accept, especially the feminists and the woke types, all these silly motherfuckers. They then this is what kills me. You sit up here, She-Hulk, prime example. You sit up here bitching and moaning and whining, complaining about how men see you and how they don't value you for your mind, and it's all about looks and everything. But yet as a professional woman, you in your glass office twerking in your business suit at work. Now here you are, you're now on Tinder, a dating profile. You've got your regular picture on there and you ain't getting no hit ups, but then you turn yourself into She-Hulk, aka the glamorous you, the most desirable you, because you as yourself with your makeup and hair is not desirable. So you catfish really people on a dating app And as I didn't watch it, but a lot of people commented on it, where the guy comes over, she takes him to bed, she gets up before him, he comes out the bedroom in the morning, she's her regular Jennifer Walters self, and he's like, where the fuck did She-Hulk go? And she's like, oh, well, I'm She-Hulk. And he like, oh my God, bitch, oh my, I'd have never fucked you. And bounce, because she wasn't his type. So, but yet you want to be respected for your mind, but not for your looks. But this is what you do. The push-up bras, the fake eyelashes, the wigs, the clothes, all of this stuff. I dress for me, bitch. How are you comfortable in 6-inch heels out here at this grass field park? How? How are you comfortable with that weave in your head down here where the temperatures average between 85 and 100 degrees? How are you comfortable? But you dress for you. You're not trying to impress anybody. You got your tits out. You got your ass out.
Fake
Okay?
ass, fake tits, fake attitude.
You doing all of this chameleon attention-seeking stuff, but yet you want to be respected and seen for your mind, not for your looks. Stop the cap.
What?
Stop the cap, because as much as you say that, but the first thing that happens is when we ask you, well, name a desire, what's it? What are you attracted to? Name a desirable man for you. The 666, the 666. The first thing come out your mouth is the 666.
6 inches, 6 foot, 6 figures.
Yeah. Like, okay, so I'm supposed to take you seriously, though. You're not even qualified for a man like that, but I'm supposed to take you seriously. It's no different than if you ask me, well, babe, what's your ideal woman?
Babe, what's your ideal woman? Hello, babe, you still there?
And I say, oh shit, Nicki Minaj. I want a woman like Nicki Minaj. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
If anybody can hear me, press the one. Okay. If you ask me what I desire as a woman, natural. He said bitches in disguise. Natural women. I like a natural woman with natural hair. It's okay if you're gonna straighten it, that's fine, but it better be yours. It better be grown out of your scalp. But give me a natural woman that's not crazy. Well, I mean, all women have a little bit of craziness in them, but not violently crazy.
If you find a woman that's not crazy, she's a trans.
Give me a natural woman that's not psychotically crazy, where I gotta sleep with one eye open. You're disrespectful. I can't deal with all of that. I can't deal with all that. And also, I need a woman that's motherly. Not because I need her to be my fucking mama, but because I'm a man of myself. But if I mess around there, let's say we get together, we're living together and all this stuff, because ain't no wild heathens even entering in my cipher. But if I get comfortable enough with you where I can let you move into my house and we mess around there and you get pregnant, I need to make sure that our child will be properly taken care of.
And trained.
Because I know what I'm going to do. I need to know what you going to do. I need to see how you are around other people's kids. How do you act? How do you act? Because the first thing, if a woman sit up and tell me, ooh, I can't stand children. Okay, good. I know not to try to, don't go raw in you. Don't go raw in you. Because if I mess around there and get you pregnant, one or two things is going to happen. Either that child is going to grow up abused or it's going to get aborted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like putting a kid through torture.
Yeah. You pretty much set a child up for torture, for failure, off rip.
And here's the craziness about it, right? They want men that severely outrank them. but yet they're not even going to give you a ruble's worth of what you deserve as a man.
Well, you're talking about women who grew up without a real father figure in the home. Either they got a bunch of mommy's boyfriends who got touchy feely, okay, or they just grew up with their mama just using men, okay. That's why if you notice a lot of these studs, and I swear to God, if you
Yeah,
ask a lot of these studs to really tell the truth, like where did you flip? I guarantee you it'll come out that mommy's boyfriend,
touch
or
me.
maybe got a little touchy feely. So now they're trying to because they emulate. If you notice, they emulate the person that they feel took their power, that took their
Yeah,
womanhood. So now they're trying to victimize other women out of their own pain as a way of trying to gain their womanhood back. Because remember, there was this thing going around a few years ago where you had a lot of studs getting pregnant. Remember that shit?
what you mean was
Oh, well, still, but when it was first popping up, you had a lot of studs showing pictures of their pregnant bellies, and I'm like, you need psychotherapy. You need psychotherapy. Just the simple fact that you walking around here trying to pretend to be a man says you need psychotherapy. But now you're pregnant. How the fuck is your psychotic ass going to raise a child with this type of mentality that you have? And
and
for the
see that's the
record, it
biggest.
has wait a minute. For the record, it has nothing to do with me being against gays or anything like that, because it ain't got nothing to do with that. But it's all about a mentality. You've got to get that mentality straight. Got enough crazy motherfuckers running around here confused and out of their brain skulls. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then you got to realize this one thing about it. A lot of these women out here are not protecting these children because if you look at them, they'll let themselves be in the most dangerous situations ever. Imagine you wanna fuck around and have a kid, and what's gonna happen? You're leaving them alone with anybody, just anybody.
Anybody.
You're not even researching who your kids go over, who house they go over. Then you wondering why your child's so silent or they're shaking. When you try to hug them, they're like pissing themselves in their pants.
What is that? Who was that? Chris Rock. They where? Go get them kids. Go get them kids. At Uncle Johnny's house. Go get the kids. You have a child molester in the family, but yet you still put the kids with them. You fucking bitch.
Just because you want a night out.
Yeah, that's because you want a night out or a weekend or anything like that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? No. Like, how about no? The answer is no. The answer is no. If you can't put the child with his father and your quote unquote last resort is Uncle Bad Touch, then guess what, bitch? Sit your ass at home. Stay home. Stay home. Oh, it's okay. Ain't nothing but a little penis. He'll be okay. She'll be okay. She gonna learn anyway. You know that I swear to God, you would think that that's the attitude that a lot of these women take.
And that's probably is the attitude.
Yeah, because look, how many times have we seen videos where girls have secretly recorded their mothers where they tell their mother that mommy's boyfriend has been touching them and whatnot, and what does the mother turn around and do?
Fight the door.
Right.
I've
See
been
her as
on a call like
competition.
that. I've been on a call like that, man.
I was just about to say, I know you as a cop have been through it.
I had to go. The mother was trying to fight the goddamn woman, the girl, 16. The dude coming in her room trying to touch her, rubbing on her leg, and she's screaming, and she's saying, and she trying to make it look like the girl trying to come into her boyfriend.
Like, bitch, she ain't in your bed. He's in hers.
And I seen this chick third after I told the chick, okay, go to your friend's house for the week. I was like, yeah, because she's trying to fight this girl. I see her running behind a nigga, right? Begging him for to come back. So you know how Batman like looks at crime and shit, and it pisses him the fuck off. I
Tell me
grabbed
the
that
story.
I grabbed that motherfucker by his collar and by his neck, and I lifted him 3 inches off the fucking ground. And I said, I hope you weren't doing something that I thought you were doing. No, I ain't do nothing. If I find out
Goddamn
you
lie.
attempt, I told him, I said, if you attempt to touch that girl ever in your life again, whatever you do to her, my nightstick's gonna do to you. And he accidentally walked headfirst into my car several times. And his buddy was
You
like,
know,
hey,
people are clumsy. It's them new Jordans, man. You got to
you
break
know,
them J's in.
you got to break them in, them new boots, man, them Timbs, you got to get them walked in.
Yeah,
And his
you
buddy
get
was
find
like,
yourself
hey,
tripping
man,
and shit.
his buddy was like, hey, man, what's going on? Do you want some of this? I'm like, no, run. That motherfucker took off like Barry Sanders. And I looked at the,
Question.
go ahead.
No, go no. Finish the story. I'll wait till you finish. Cause
I looked at the mother and I said, this is the slimy piece of shit you follow, but you don't even give a fuck about your daughter. I said, you know what? I wish right now this was back in the day where I could take this nightstick and clean y'all fucking clocks. But I'll tell you one thing. If I ever hear anything your daughter tells me, your daughter got my personal cell phone number. If
that's what
she
I was
says,
gonna ask you. Please tell me you gave the daughter your number.
yeah, I said, I will come on duty, off duty, and I'm gonna take my shit and I'm gonna wear your ass out like like a fucking piece of pair of fucking cheap shoes. And I said, never. And the daughter, last time I checked, she's in college.
Molestation free. Molestation
Station free.
free. that, that
But wait a
motherfucker.
minute. But wait a minute. Black men don't protect the black community, right?
No, they don't. Nope. No way. This is I was laughing because I was like, after that, every time they went to pass each other in the hallway and shit, that motherfucker stopped and faced the wall. She went by.
Yeah. Because I
At
tell you,
attention.
people don't think about it, but people like my partners would tell me, they said you're a nice dude, but boy, you could be intimidating when you want. God damn.
Well, how big are you?
5'10", 280.
All you gotta do is scowl.
They were like, you can be an
All you gotta do is
intimidating mother.
scowl.
They said, boy, you go into that motherfucker and he said, because he says you don't smile, so people don't understand. Oh no, I got a S Pantone. Fuck the ass. I gotta look this up. I'm gonna put it in the chat. That's what I carried, and mine was made out of cocoa bola wood, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it.
Well, I'm on my phone and watching you on my big screen because I was listening. Then I saw you put the link up because I had to go. I was upstairs in the kitchen putting some stuff out, some chicken out for tonight. But I can't see it. But I'll watch it. I'll catch it on the replay. What was I gonna say to you? What was I gonna say to you? Something about the whole situation right there, where the woman chose the man over her daughter. Okay, what I guarantee you, it was out of three things, and these are the three things that women pick men over. Sex. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, sex, which I would call relationships. They don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be lonely. His resources. Okay, what was the third thing? Resources,
Resources, reproduction.
reproduction, and loneliness.
Yeah.
Want to be in a relationship. The three R's: resources, relationship, relationship. Those are the three things. She just because some women just cannot live without being in a relationship.
No, they can't. They'll go crazy or kill themselves.
No. I know women like that. They hop from one man to another because for some reason they just cannot be alone with themselves. They are not comfortable being alone with themselves and getting their thoughts together. Okay, they just gotta have that dick. They just gotta be booed up with somebody. You know, that's a goddamn shame because if you really look at it, you're talking about somebody that's trying to trauma bond.
Yeah.
Okay, they're trying to trauma bond because I mean they're so afraid of being rejected, okay, and being alone. Because if they're alone or they get rejected, then they feel that they're not good enough. They feel inferior. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore they freak out. That's why like old girl, prime Brittany Renner and this other chick who was dating some 19-year-old guy. Some chick was dating some 19-year-old rapper dude. I don't know why the fuck these, but anyway, she was dating some she's 26. Just like Brittany Renner, 28, 29, fucking with PJ Washington, fresh out of college or high school or whatever. She
She
dating
was
this dude, 19 years old, trying to make a life with him. And I'm like, this young man is just now starting out his life. If he want to fuck other bitches, he gonna fuck other bitches. This 19-year-old rapper dude told the girl, hey, look, I believe in polygamy, okay? And I'm gonna fuck these hoes. And she said, okay. Okay. But then the reality started setting in because in all honesty, she thought that he was going to eventually change his mind and fall in love with her and all of this stuff. This 26-year-old woman, she was saying at 26, she was saying, because I think it might be Pink Book Lessons. I think she dropped it this morning. Because like I said, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do, I cut on my YouTube and I watch all my news stuff and other videos that catch my eye. Why you think I'm on here? At
yeah.
fucking 11:30 in the morning when I got other shit to do.
Yeah.
She's sitting up here saying this 19-year-old man taught her things that no other man has taught her. And I'm like, well, what the fuck could that be? Because ain't no 19-year-old man got any type of life skills or experience or whatnot to teach you nothing outside of the bedroom.
Exactly.
Unless you 26 years old and don't know how to fucking pay bills.
I mean, you
Because
gotta
that's the
look at
only thing a 19-year-old with money can tell you is how to pay bills
you gotta
or
look
how
at
to
Brittany
fuck.
Renner. You
Hmm?
gotta look at Brittany Renner. She was never made to be accountable. She was never made to be had to use her brains. Okay? She got away with her looks for so long that it's almost disgusting.
She has, she is, I put it like this. Right now, she is halfway at the wall. And that kid that she had with PJ, it sped up her timeline. This is what a lot of women don't seem to understand. The second you have, excuse me,
But
the second you have a baby out of wedlock, your wall timeline where you might hit it at 40, you've now cut that almost in half.
yeah,
Okay. So now you're going to hit the wall at 30, 32, 31, 32, whatever your age is. Cut the second you drop a kid, cut that shit in half. Cut it in half. I don't care if you had a baby at 15, 16. Cut it in half from 40. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Because when men get, or as you get older and men get smarter, because they get older too, they get smarter and they realize that messing with you is a bad move for them financially. And see, this, and not to mention socially, but here's the biggest thing that a lot of single mothers don't understand. Fucking with you as a single man without any kids, you are fucking up my money. I don't care how much you want to sit here and say that, you know, you take care of your kid and all of this stuff and you don't need my money and all of this stuff, but yet you want me to be in a serious relationship with you. Please tell me how you would react, because I've been there and I know exactly how they react. When you sit up there like, damn, I'm $20 short from being able to send my kid to summer camp. And then they looking at you like, You know, I mean, they present the problem to you, and you as a man, of course, you when a woman comes to you with a problem, like when she talk about, you know, what's going on at her job and everything, we as men, we're problem solvers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. When really, as a man, you really should just sit there and let her vent. Because that's all she's really doing is venting, unless she's talking about money
That's
or
all she's
something
talking.
needs to get fixed. Outside of that, if she's bitching about other bitches and all of this goofy little silly little social shit, don't even fucking worry about it. But when it comes to finances or fixtures, she's talking to you directly. She's just suggesting. She wants you to, as a man who does nothing but likes to fix women's problems, she's waiting on you. She wants you to solve the problem. So when she's sitting up there talking about Lil Johnny, she's $20 short from sending Lil Johnny to summer camp. She waiting on you to come out of your pocket with the $20. Fuck around there and be like, damn, that's fucked up. And shrug your shoulders like it's none of your concern and y'all supposed to be in a relationship. See what happens. Because I'm going to tell you what happened. All of a sudden now, you ain't shit. You a deadbeat. You broke and all this. Be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You told me you didn't need my fucking money.
Exactly.
Your child got a father. Why is you looking at me? This is the fucked up thing, like Corey Holcomb talked about his son. You know, he got some chick pregnant and, you know, that was well-to-do. And then she turned around and got married. So his son had a stepfather, but the stepfather is below. This is the fucked up thing. These women get married to these dudes who are below them. Okay. They're below them. And also they're milquetoast. They get married to beta males. Okay, beta males, because they really just using him for his resources. While when he ain't looking, she turn around fucking Ray Ray and Pookie. Okay, it's funny. You see this, you see it, and it's fucked up. You see it in these TV programs all the time. You see it in these TV programs all the time, and it's usually in these comedies. Remember, what was that movie? The Other Guys. Remember The Other Guys? With Mark Wahlberg and who's the comedian guy? The other guy, the one that was from Saturday Night Live. That was in Elf.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Right, Will Ferrell. Where this motherfucker, Mark Wahlberg, is supposed to be the tough guy of the group. You go to his house, his wife is married to a cuck, some blue pill white dude. The wife is still pining for Mark Wahlberg sexually, you know, and then when they go to leave the house, you come back here and fuck my wife. You know, they marry these type of dudes. Jerry on Rick and Morty is a prime example of that. Matter of fact, this last episode just dealt with this shit. That's what's funny about it. That's what's funny about it. This last episode of Rick and Morty dealt with that shit, huh?
He's a natural born cuck.
Right, natural born blue pill cuck. You marry these dudes. These chicks marry these dudes. They pimp them out, turn them into whores while pining for Ray Ray, Pookie, and the tough guy, the bad boy, etc. All right, but yet let this much, because he'll be quick to come out of his pocket. But if you as a red pill man, if you call yourself want to date a single mother, because you know, personally, I don't find anything wrong with it per se, as long as you keep that shit in perspective and realize that you just in this for the fun. Okay? But the second you take the shit seriously, you don't come out of your pocket, guess what? Guess what she gonna do? She gonna get rid of your ass.
Yeah.
She gonna get rid of your ass, or she gonna find somebody else to carry the burden. My father wound up married to a woman. His third wife. He's been married 4 times. His third wife pulled some shit like that on him. Keep in mind, they weren't broke. They weren't broke, but she was such a fucking slut, as he came to find out. He said the bitch come back from vacation, you know, a girl's trip, and she partying. Even after she came back, she was in Vegas for 2 weeks with her so-called girlfriends. Suddenly, all of a sudden, a week later, he said, the bitch pull up with a brand new car. He said, where'd you get that from? Keep in mind, not broke. My father worked for Digital Equipment. If y'all don't know what Digital Equipment was the corporation before. Who did they get bought by? But at any rate, when Digital Equipment was up and going, they were the premier computer company back in the 80s. Okay, just like they were premier. You called these people, they were like Geek Squad, except computers were new back then. So dude was making, my father told me he was making $22 an hour back in the 80s. That's like making 40 something dollars, 50 something dollars an hour right now.
Let me check that real quick.
Go ahead.
22 back in the 80s.
$22 an hour back in the 80s. I wish I had pictures of the house he was living in down here in Atlanta when all that shit was going on. We had a fucking tree in the living room, my nigga. I'm serious. You walk in the house, and right there, be split between the kitchen, the upstairs, the dining room, and the living room, the sunken living room, there was a goddamn tree, a planted tree in the fucking house. This bitch show up with a brand new car. He said, where you get the car from? Some nigga she used to fuck with before they got married. Bought her a car.
You know how much your father was making equivalent back then at $22 an hour back in 1982?
How much?
Almost $70 an hour.
Yeah.
$67.52. He was making dough. That's the thing I was talking about earlier when we talked about, well, Taken made more money than Blade. Yeah, because the fucking it's fucking inflation. That's why, nigga.
Yeah, because of inflation. But back then shit was cheap and he was cleaning up.
And trust me,
that's how we.
And just to let them know, Chris, pound for pound, Taken was never the action movie Blade 1 was. Never was.
Oh fuck no! It wouldn't. Those are two different genres of movies. They don't even compare.
It's a thriller action versus a pure action movie.
My point to the whole story is that once he realized his wife was taking gifts from another man, he filed for divorce. Bitch, you can have the house. You can keep that brand new car that motherfucker bought you. You can keep all this shit. I don't want none of it. Because I want no reminders from you. He literally signed divorce papers. Instead of having to pay alimony, he just let her have everything. And he started off from scratch all over again. Had the money, so it wasn't no problem. But he bounced. A lot of niggas would have stayed in that type of relationship, trying to fight for the bitch and trying to work it out. And no. How do you kill a snake?
Cut off the head.
Exactly. Calvin said, I let clean up some stuff. In 19, I was ready for the world. Oh, I was happy and in the service of my country. Oh, damn, I had a father in the house growing up. Yeah. Charles, was your father around while you were growing up?
Yeah, they were married, but then they got divorced.
My parents too. They divorced it too. But my father was always in my life.
But
he's in his room, right? He's in his room right now, rotting away. He's in his room right now. Sleep, I mean, my father's 75 years old. But a strong father figure in your life, if you pay attention, will keep you out of trouble. Keep you out of trouble. Your parents are supposed to have your fucking back. They're not supposed to put you in bad situations. You can put yourself in a bad situation, and they can try to, as an adult, and they can try to tell you, hey, yo, don't do this. This is what's going to happen. And you don't listen, and then you go ahead. Like they say, don't touch stove. Stove is hot. But you got to touch that hot stove because you need to know exactly what pain is. Okay? So they let you go through that pain, and then they sit there and look at you and like, well, what did you learn?
Exactly.
What did you learn? That's parenting. What did you learn? Didn't I tell you that was going to happen? But you did it anyway, though, right? So the next time I tell you not to do some shit, like, do understand, I'm not trying, because I used to do this with my niece. I'm not trying to tell you not to do this because I don't want you to do it like I'm trying to suppress you or anything like that. I'm trying to spare you from the fucking pain that you're going to experience by going through this. But if you got to do it, you go right ahead. But don't look at me and don't sit up there, turn around at 30, 40 years old with a YouTube channel, whatever, talking about some, didn't nobody tell me this and I wasn't taught this or taught that. No, you was a lying motherfucker because you were taught this and that and the other, but you chose to do the opposite. Brittany Renner, for her little channel, in all honesty, since you want to say she want a radio career, in all honesty, what her ass need to really turn around and do is tell these women, don't do what she did. These are my stories. These are the hardships I went through and I'm going through right now. I'm a single mother. The second I dropped that book, the second I dropped the baby and the book, suddenly my DMs dried up. Nobody of higher caliber wanted to fuck with me no more.
Yep, you put yourself in a box. You did cardinal sin number one. You ran your fucking mouth.
Ran your fucking mouth and you had a kid. You halfway to the wall. Right now, if Brittany Renner cleaned herself up right now mentally, just like the little Lana Sands, the little porn chick did, now she want to clean herself up and, she pregnant and the dude having a baby and the baby daddy don't want to have nothing to do with her because she's a porn whore. Even though she don't do porn anymore, she's still a porn whore. Yeah. Brittany Renner, you're still a groupie whore. I don't care. Superhead, what do we see her as?
She's a dick sucker.
Yeah, she's a groupie whore. She's seen as a groupie whore. Even though she don't even do this shit no more. Them labels stick with you forever. You got a kid too, you halfway at the wall, you can forget it. Once you hit the wall, it's over. It's over. You don't get it. But yet you sitting up here want men to respect you and love you and cherish you and all this shit. Sure, in fantasy land and on TV, like a Tyler Perry movie, sure, that works out beautifully. Some poor bitch with 3 kids or 4 kids and the light-skinned shirtless nigga cutting the grass. He loves you, but look who you got. You got the light-skinned shirtless nigga who cut grass. That's an ex-con. He can't get no real fucking job. Yeah, he'll fall in love with you all that he want to because he's getting the 3 P's. Pussy, pay, and a place to stay. Yep. Who said that? Willie D.
Oh yeah, you gotta remember, good dick keep you in relationships a lot longer than being a competent man. Remember, they don't go off of men. See, our community, we don't care if you have babies. Why are you having babies by incompetent men?
You're an incompetent woman. What's going on, Tan?
To control.
What's up, Tan?
I want to be real quick.
How's the missus?
It's good, man. She's good, man. Just got off the clock. I'm over here in Michigan.
Ooh. Oh shit, he up there in the cold state.
It's cool. I wanted to say something real quick. I heard people talking about this on Sunday's Lapeef show, man, and then I had to inform Ricky.
Oh, not the Lapeef show. Go on.
Yeah. Sometimes I be in the house on Sundays and I'll listen to it while I'm waiting for some racing in football. But I want you guys to really look at this, man. And that they want to say men are the most narcissistic, but it's these women that are super narcissistic. I'll give an example, and let me know if I'm wrong. Charles, she could do something wrong, right? That she knows better as your woman. You get mad, and you have all rights to get mad. Respectfully, don't hit her, don't cuss her out, but you get mad and you get upset, and you need time to yourself. Instead of saying sorry to you and apologizing, she would try to go up under you, kiss you, and hug you, and act like nothing happened. And then when you reject that because your body and your heart's not telling you, you don't mean to be different or What's the word?
Manipulation is what you're saying. When they try to manipulate you.
Yes. So whenever
Oh
you
shit,
don't
we got
do whatever
Snowman
they
in here.
want you to do, so whenever you don't do what they want you to do, now you're the problem. But they're the one who started the problem in the first place. Man, that's very narcissistic behavior, man. How you do something wrong and I can't be upset, but then you don't say sorry, and then when I don't do something you don't want to do, now I'm still the problem. Like that's narcissistic behavior, man.
You're never
That,
going to get a woman to say, I'm sorry. They say not the way you want them to. They say they're sorry in their own way. They'll cook your dinner. They'll give
Yeah.
you the best sloppy toppy. They'll even let you hit the back door. You know what I'm
but they
saying? They'll
don't
go out of
say
their way physically to say that they're sorry, but they'll never verbally say it.
because they think it is a sign of weakness. You got to remember, a lot of these women nowadays are not taught to be humble. They're not taught to be, wife-like. Remember years ago when you first came to my panel, I was
Yep.
like, "Yo, you better not leave that one. You ain't gonna
Yep.
find anymore." Because if
But
you get a woman that actually apologizes, you better keep her.
yeah. But you know what's crazy, man? And I had to get some mentorship on this. I've we've been because I'm a millennial. I'm 31. We've been fed this feminist ideology. Sometimes you lose how to lead because whenever you do what you're supposed to do, you're taught that you're controlling, you're narcissistic, you're toxic. So I had to reprogram myself, not all the way, but how to lead the right way without coming off as if I'm narcissistic in my head. You know what I mean? Or
How do
toxic
you
in my
lead
head.
the right way? Explain that.
Um, you know how they say whenever you take them out to eat, they really don't know what to eat, so you have to pick where to go eat, right? But for
Yeah,
the
you
longest
pick what
on
to eat, and
but for the longest on social media, it's since he's always choosing and always telling us what to do, then that's toxic. So you have these feminist talking points when it comes to these relationships, and you kind of intermingle these talking points to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna give her a choice to choose something, but then she doesn't choose it. Then when I choose it,
you know
am I
what?
am
I'm
I
ex-
choosing too much for the? You know what I mean? I know how to do it now, but man, with this
I know
feminist,
exactly what you mean.
yeah, you have to unwire that shit and be like, this is how men's supposed to be, but and how men are supposed to be, they condemn that. So I'm a millennial. I'm 31, like I said. So I was in high school when this shit was starting, in college. You know what I mean? Younger 20s.
Look, women love when men take control. I don't care how much they bitch, moan, whine, and complain about it. They love when men can take control because for to them, that's being manly. That's called leadership. As much as they sit up here, well, what man is should I listen to? Who should be a leader? The man that actually takes control. The
Okay,
man who says this is how it's going to be. I'm
and
not
I
asking you shit.
and I pause it right there. Have you ever had a breakup where she told her friends, "Oh, he was too controlling," and you're
I've
like, "Damn,
never
I thought I was."
I don't think so. I mean,
It's
I'll
happened,
put it
bro.
like
Maybe
this.
behind your
There's a
back, bro.
difference.
It happens. They love
The, you know,
to bait and switch to their friends whenever they're the problem. They'll switch it on you as if you're the reason why they're broken up.
Of
oh
course
fuck,
they
you're
will,
right.
because
Take it.
when do you see women actually take you know accountability and integrity for themselves and their actions? There's always somebody else's fault. Why did you date that guy who was
Yeah.
not you weren't supposed to date? Well, he no. So you're basically that's how I catch women. So basically, you're stupid, or you're just a
Boom.
bad picker of men.
I talk.
There's
You
no
know what? I don't when it. Okay, I hate to sound sexist, but I mean this is just how it is. That whole women are no women are from Mars, men are from women are whatever. That little saying, or how the cat spirit represents women and the dog spirit represents men. Okay, because a cat is scatterbrained, where a dog is more logical. I'm not gonna sit up here and let a scatterbrain lead me if I'm making any sense here.
You're making sense.
Yeah. If you sitting up here, if you don't know what direction you going in, you don't know which way to go. You as a woman, your leadership skills are trash because I'm not gonna lie. I've dated some women who had leadership skills in their femininity as a woman. They displayed female leadership skills, as in, hey, look, this is what I want. This is what I want. Can you help me get this? Yes, I can. But all of this shit talking about you're too controlling and all of this stuff, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. First and foremost, relationships are about compromise. I don't run the streets. My friends don't come over here, okay, all the time. I don't throw parties. I'm not drinking in the house or anything like that. Okay, I'm doing this for you. So this is what I want you to do for me. If we're going to go out to eat, I know that you as a woman, if I say, hey, honey, you hungry? Yeah, I'm hungry. What you want? I don't know. Well, I'm going here. You want to go with me? What do they normally say?
I don't
It,
know.
it's either a yes or a no. Like, well, like,
I,
because I'm not about to make, I've told girlfriends
no, but
quick, I'm not making two stops. I'm going here and I'm coming back home. So either you rolling with me to get something to eat or you not. Like, or if I'm out and about and I decide to stop on my way home to get something to eat, let's say like I stop, like, okay, I'm gonna stop at Churches. Okay, fuck it. Let me get the 10-piece box with the peppers and the jalapeno bites, and I'll bring it home. Either you gonna eat it or you not. They call that controlling. This is what modern women call controlling.
yeah, I know. Trust me. Trust me.
And it's
You can
like
Modern,
you
modern women don't
bitch.
understand shit. Okay.
Let me breathe.
trust me. If you ever get in an argument and she throws this, oh, we always do what you want to do, and you're like, what? We always do what
That's
I want to do
because
because whenever I ask you, it's I don't know, I'm feeling this, but I'm doing this, and you over here hungry, looking like starving to Marvin, sitting in the car, be like, look, I'm going here. But then whenever you get in that argument, that conversation where things can get heated, they'll throw that we always do what you want to do. It. That shit takes a toll sometimes. It's like, damn, like, fuck, am I this? You know what I
Everything
mean?
everything
it's
I
a
do in a
major
relationship is for the benefit of the relationship. Not myself, but for both of us. If you can't see that, that's a you problem.
And that's the fact of the matter that you speak on. That you problem, it's hard to dictate a problem to somebody when they just don't fucking see it.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When you don't see what the you problem is, that's what happens. You're not going to take the conviction to fix it. You're not going to take it. It's no different than like saying he's a truck driver. You gotta mandate the meat, don't you? When you go out there driving your truck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't meet it, what happens? Loss of funds, loss of wages, loss of trust,
They
Shit,
start
probably
docking your
lost a
score.
job.
loss of
They start
job.
docking your score. Yep.
And think about this. What what contingency plan do you have for when a woman acts like that?
I have
And
two.
that,
I have two. Either we work it out or I walk away.
hmm
Because I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you over and over and over again over common sense.
Yeah. She doesn't do it anymore, but I had to tell her because she used to get mad. She was like, "You make it seem like it's so easy to walk away," and I told her, "No, it's I'm not putting up with this bullshit. I don't. I could be bad by myself." So I had to tell her like, it's not me walking away or wanting to easily let you go. Is I'm not gonna tolerate it. See, I ain't my great grandpa. I ain't gonna stay in this shit.
Well, a lot of women don't understand that. It's the fact
The
that
world
marriage,
is too. The world is my oyster.
men,
How old are
people
you?
don't think.
How old are you, Tan?
I'm
Tan,
31.
how old are you?
I'm
31. Oh
31.
my, how long you
Yeah,
been? You
31.
married? You're married?
I'm engaged. I'm engaged. I'll be married in February. I've
How
known
long
her
you
for
been with
7
your
years.
chick?
Dated for
7 years.
uh,
If she don't know you
I've
by
known her for
now,
7 years, but I've been with her. No. I've known her for 7 years. Been with her for two.
you've known her for 7 years. You've been with her for two, and if she don't know how you operate by now, there's an issue. I'm not saying don't get married. I'm just saying that
I'm just bringing up old shit that I had to fix.
okay, because when it comes to marriage, if y'all don't sit down and really talk fucking 5 years and you tired of, me and you both are tired of the same old sex and all of this stuff. Where do we stand with children? All of this stuff. If y'all don't have that serious discussion, things become problems later on when they happen. A lot of people don't discuss things that will eventually come up in a marriage. When you sit down and talk to an old married couple, and I mean, like seriously, talk to them and listen to them, because old people will help you out. You tell, hey, what problems did you go through in your marriage? What was the crises? And you don't take notes and then bring that shit back to your mate and be like, yo, what happens if this happens? How are we gonna have that? If y'all don't seriously discuss that shit and hammer it out, when y'all get married and those things happen, they can destroy your relationship. They can destroy your
Yeah,
marriage. So if y'all got some things to discuss, I'd say get it out of the way. Don't put it on the back burner. Sit down and seriously have a discussion, because marriage is not about so much about love as it is a business.
that's a big
It's
business.
right, because love fades. Dude, you can like cherry ice cream right now and then 10 minutes later be sick of the shit and never eat it again.
Yeah.
You
No,
can't do
I had to
that's
explain
how
to her
when
about the business part.
yeah.
I had to explain it
Like
to her because at first she didn't like, and I know Charles don't like him. I really can care less of him, but I had to explain to her about how he talks and how he views marriage, and I had to tell her, like, even though I don't really fuck with him like that, in a way he's right when it comes to marriage being about business. You know what I mean? And she didn't like it
it
at
is
first, but I had to explain to her it's a duty. We got a duty towards each other.
exactly
You got to realize when you're married, it changes. Okay,
big
Yeah.
time,
it changes.
because it's no
I'm
longer about you.
Yeah, because and then on top of that, who always get blamed in the marriage, the man or the woman?
Other man.
Usually the man.
Because she's carrying your name. Your kids are going to carry your name. Those are your legacies. Nobody ever blames a woman for a bad marriage. It's always that man. Even if she's cheating, it's always on that man's back.
Yeah.
All right?
Even if you ain't do nothing wrong. Remember
I
the
came in.
story dude told about his wife cheating on him with the freaking exercise guy, the trainer, the physical trainer?
Yeah.
Oh hell no!
You ain't see that story?
It's very common. I may not have seen that one, but I've heard that before.
Yeah, it was a big story. I'm surprised it hasn't gotten more traction. But the wife was cheating on him with a physical therapist. This moron, because she texting the physical therapist after he told her to stop, he went and got her a hotel room, telling some come back in 2-3 days when you done got your mind right. And I'm like, that was the stupidest move you ever made, because sure enough, she fucked the trainer in the hotel room that he paid for days, like a dumbass.
You dumbass.
Talking about trying to fix his marriage. Like, nigga, why don't you just say, hey, look, go ahead and fuck him, but I get a pass to fuck who I want to fuck, and you can't say shit about it. That's how you really should have handled that. And then you just have an open marriage.
Mm.
Wow. Damn. Am I the only
But in all
man
honesty,
up
you shouldn't
here?
even got married in the first place. Sir. Within 2 years of the marriage.
2 years.
2
Charles,
years.
I'm the only man up here that's been married for 21 years and never had any of these problems.
You probably are.
Why
Because
not? Tell us why not.
Because I married a woman she was 8 years older than me, drop dead gorgeous, out of my league. Charles, I done told you the story. Out of my league. But she chose me and gave me 3 beautiful sons. And I did it. I did what a man would. Well, I'm old school. I did what a man was supposed to do. I went to work, and here's something that you boys can't do anymore. I used to give her my check on Friday.
Right on that. Right on that.
You did
She go
what?
to Fashion Nova in a
I
heartbeat.
gave her. Wait a minute, Charles. I gave her my check, asshole. I had a wife. I
How old are
married
you,
one.
sir? How old are
I'm
you, Kelly?
60. I'm
You
60.
6? You only 9 years older than me.
Yeah, but I had a better pool of women than you.
You had a better. You're 9. You're old enough to be my older brother. How did you have a better pool of women than me?
Because I was in a better position than you. I was upper middle class.
What made? How, you don't even know my position.
I know. I already heard your position. Mine was a little bit better than yours. My father was a
You
full
don't
birth
know
colonel.
that. You don't know that.
I heard
that's
your position.
hold
I know how good
on,
your
hold on,
father
hold on, hold on,
was.
You
hold
just
on, hold on,
heard me say that my
hold on,
dad was making
hold on,
$22
hold
an
on,
hour
hold
in
on,
the 80s. How did you
hold
have a
on.
better position than me?
Instead of arguing about the position, we just want to
Right.
know why. We just want to know why it's different. Why you didn't go through some of the stressors that everybody else? Was it because was rules laid down early? Was she trained a certain way? What culture
Thank
was
you,
she
Yes,
Charles.
from? Was
yes,
she? We're not going to go into my childhood's better
yes,
than anybody else's childhood. That's petty shit. We just want to
yes.
teach younger brothers than us what can they learn and what type of women they should seek.
Women outside the country, because you ain't getting one in America.
Thank
You
you.
just ain't gonna get one.
Can you say that louder? Because I don't think the niggas in the back heard you, even though you are kind of low.
You're not gonna find a good woman in America. The the passport bros were right 10 years ago. Leave the country, go find a woman who was raised to be a wife. Women nowadays are raised to be your equal. I don't want an equal. I want a soft, submissive, feminine woman that I can pour my life into, and she will take it and make it better for all that is around me. You ain't getting a black woman like that. Not in
Ah,
America.
not America. No, you're right. See, well, my thing was that gave me an edge was I was very multicultural, and I was in a multicultural state of Seattle. So I was around
Yeah,
Ethiopians, Eritreans, Asians, Islanders. So I got it before passport. Like I didn't have to get out the country to see what real women acted and how they were treated. So me, I was in the area where I seen multiracials, but I also grew up in Georgia, and I see how those guys only seen black and maybe Mexican. So
right.
I do see how people may not know and they have to travel outside. But I always say you can find it in America. You just got to go to a culture. Go to Koreatown instead of going to Hooters. Go to Chinatown and hang out. Go get some tea. You know what I mean? Like you can easily find somebody of another culture. You just can't be socially awkward when you're in that area because you're going to another country, a culture anyway. When you go overseas, how about you start practicing in your own state?
Here's something that'll blow your mind, and Charles will agree with this. Up until about 8 years ago, all you had to do was go on a military base,
Well,
and you could find all the culture you wanted, and women who were raised to be wives. But this hot
well,
girl summer thing got everybody messed up.
Let me ask y'all something, because I got cousins that are in Baltimore and they're Muslim, and I always said if I had to start over again, I would try to go to the Muslim community. How are the Muslim girls over there in Baltimore and that diaspora?
The Muslim community is very tight knit. You don't see the
Yeah.
Muslim women getting off the hook. You don't see that.
Mm-mm.
You don't see that shit.
Are they
That's
dating
what,
guys that are not in the Nation of Islam?
No, we
I
def-
mean, rarely, very rarely. They
Can I get
barely
this
do
one?
that because it's not just the Nation of Islam. It's also different sects. But even the
Yeah,
ones from the nation, guess what? They're very mild mannered, feminine women.
very, very.
Very, very
I'm.
feminine.
I
Because
was
there you can
raised
accept that
mostly
in that
Sunni.
culture.
I was raised in a Sunni Muslim religion because of my uncles coming home from overseas and they fought all over the Middle East. The women that most of the men look for, I'm looking for a wife before I'm looking for anything. This woman must hold a certain reverence that when I walk out that door, I have nothing to worry about, no fears, no nothing that another man will come into my home. That's why whenever you see a real Muslim woman, she always has a man with her as a protector to protect her against what evils another man has on his mind. To be a
I tell you one thing.
safeguard. That's why a lot of the young men overseas aren't listening to this delusional shit that we listen to in America. A woman is a woman. She will stay in a woman's place and will be treated like a woman. You don't see that. You don't see that in the Middle East. Them women are women. They're not men.
I I give you a story that you can relate to. It happened to me when I was dating this foreign exchange student. I went to go visit Seattle from Florida, and I went out with my friends, and she said, "Hey, you can come stay with me," and I stayed in her dorm. Did you know I didn't get back till 2 o'clock in the morning, and she stayed up until I got home to make sure I came home safely?
Yeah,
Wow.
Now my wife does that now. I can go out. I'm in Fort Worth. I go out to Dallas. It's an hour ride. She will stay up until 4 a.m. until I come home to finally go to sleep,
yeah,
just to know I'm home. I'm safe. And then ask me,
yeah.
do I need anything before I go take a shower? Do you want me to warm you up some food? I'm like, no, I'm
Food,
good.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
so
Where's she
it's these
from?
little indicators. Uh, my fiance now, she's Mexican and she's black, but she grew up with her dad and mom and grandma and grandpa.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Her
she grew up
mom's
with
You said
both
what?
families.
her mom's what race?
Mexican.
There
That's
you go.
it. There you go.
Her grandma's from Laredo. That's straight Mexico. Laredo is straight on the border of Mexico and America. And I said that all the
There
time.
you
Hey,
go.
I don't got y'all problems because and I said that back then, even though I got heat. Man, I'm not marrying no American black girl. They just don't know how to treat men. They've been
Right.
indoctrinated to hate you, to compete with you. And I seen it.
Yeah.
I seen it. And
And
I'm not putting up with it.
Nor
here's
am
the funny
I.
thing that I see. They get mad when you tell them like, okay, you want to be my equal? Good. Now go over there. Because I want a woman. I want a lady. I want a mother for my children. I don't want a boss bitch. Watch a woman hair catch on fire. Well, you can't handle. He said, no. And then I forget who said this. I think it was shout out to Ed Anderson. It's
It was
not
Steve
that I
Harvey
can't
too.
handle you. It's not that I can't handle you. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
Steve
need
Harvey
to because
said
I grew up with one.
And Steve Harvey said, "You handle animals, you handle kids, you don't handle a grown ass adult." That's like the
Hmm.
best thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard him say. You don't handle a grown ass woman, you love her. When he said that, I'm like, dang, is he red pill a little bit? But he still be on his blue pill shit. But that's the best thing I've ever heard him say. You don't handle a grown woman, you handle a dog, you handle a fucking pet. You're not a pet, you're a grown ass adult. I'm not handling shit. You said I had a dinner
Harvey
table
is
when you
red
meet
pill.
her. Yeah. Well, sometimes he
Steve
is.
Harvey red pill, but his money says I got to be purple. Y'all get that? For my money, I got to be purple. I got to be neutral in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm making millions of dollars telling you dumb bitches don't do. I'm basically telling you don't do that. But you know what? Go on and do it, sister girl. Live your best life and find out the only people gonna want you is Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nut Nut.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What up?
Hmm. I did this once before, and I'm going to do it again, really, really quick. And Charles, I'm so glad I caught your stream. Y'all, Snowman needs help. Family needs help, and this is a desperate call now. There is nothing in the house. There's I'll just say there's some things that we need. I've made this plea on behalf of Jody and Sonia and myself, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it again. I haven't been able to do Snowman Unfiltered the last few nights because I wanted to make sure my wife was okay, and to back up the point of what was said a few moments ago. When I do a game and I come home late, my wife waits up for me to make sure I'm okay. Well, I want to make sure that my wife and my family's okay. And for that, we need y'all help. Is it a desperate situation? Yeah. And Charles has said so many times, my brother, my champion, my savior. I could use a few of those right now. And while I do my show every morning, and I'm getting back into doing Snowman Unfiltered in the evening, there are times I just crash, and there are times I look at my wife and I see her and I see the stress and I see the fatigue, and I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm doing it because I cannot work right now. I am, in the eyes of the government, I am officially disabled. So if you guys in the chat can do anything to help, and Charles, my Cash App's in the back chat, and until
Just
I'm
posted it.
until I'm turning over sponsors, this is a state of emergency. I could use a few champions right now.
Let's help whatever you got. Let's help out the Snowman. All right. Let's try to give a couple of things. If it's $1, $5, 10. If you can afford 20, just give the Snowman a little bit of help. Try to help him get back on his feet. And
Yeah.
Snowman, I'm gonna talk to you offline because I'm going to tell you about, like, have you ever tried getting a lawyer for that disability?
Yeah, I thought about it, and people have suggested it, but let me be perfectly honest. I am insanely fatigued
Yeah.
mentally.
And it's
I know what
crazy because you would be prime. You'll be a prime candidate for that. And I would
that.
keep going to. I would go to other organizations and
Yeah,
different and try to get you a counselor. Try to get you a counselor to get you into that phase.
I am. I've just been mentally and emotionally spent.
Oh yeah, I know. Especially
That's why I happen
you're
to,
still healing from cancer, man.
with everything that's happened to me physically in the past year and everything that's going on with my family. The only, and I'll answer the question because I know a lot of people are going to ask. The only reason I have not sought a lawyer yet, I have been physically, emotionally, and spiritually spent. That's all. I've just been spent. That's why I'm handling this the way that I know how, and it's through my wife's encouragement. She says, you may not be able to work, but you got a microphone and you're on the air every day. Use it. So I am doing what my wife told me. I'm using the weapons that I have. I do plan to seek a lawyer, but after the past year, I've just been spent. From the cancer surgery and 3 extra hospital visits all the way through Memorial Day. I've just been spent. I've been wanting to get back to work so bad that I haven't until recently took the time to heal, because I knew I had to get back to work because, like I said, my wife's the only one working. My daughter's trying to find something. And we're trying to get the hell up out of here. Simply put, we're trying to get the hell out of here. And we're doing the best that we can.
Okay.
That's all. That's all, Charles. I have just been emotionally and physically spent.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. It's been a tough time. A damn tough time.
It's been a tough year, almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
From the blood clots to a fight with cancer and everything in between.
So what's going on with your have you talked to the Social Security office? Have you filed any paperwork?
Yeah, filed it before I went in for surgery.
What did they
And
say?
it was after I came out of surgery when they gave me the when they gave me the word.
What did they say?
I'm officially disabled. They just won't give me any money for it because
Why?
according to them, I have not paid enough taxes over the years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and when my wife
Okay.
explained that to me, Charles was my first call.
Oh God. All right. I mean, you see, I dropped you a little something, but yeah, because when I came back from COVID, because COVID damaged my heart, because I'm pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't say
Yeah,
I'm
I
in the
get it.
same boat as you, but being where you're pretty much forced to retire. Yeah, I went that same route. First thing I did, my cousin was like, "You need to fill out this Social Security paperwork," which I had already had from when I almost had a heart attack a couple years ago at work, because working for white folks will do that to you. Yeah, I finished it. Yeah, it straightened me out, but damn, I didn't know that that's how they did you. If you didn't pay taxes for a couple
And
years, they would get you.
and aside of that, I live in the state of Indiana, if that should tell you anything.
Oh, that's one of the poorest states in the union, ain't it?
Like I said, Charles was my first call when I got the determination, and he'll tell you I was in tears.
Have you reached out to any other services?
No, like I said, I've just been emotionally spent.
I understand. I think, in all honesty, that's something else. Because I mean, let's say you get taken care of for like at the end of this month or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
if you need to check out other services like quickly. Are you a veteran at all?
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
You
I
only
mean,
better. Great. Oh.
if if someone is behind the 8 ball, you're talking to them. I'm disabled but can't get paid for it. I've kicked cancer in the ass. I've can't I've dealt with blood clots, and this is all just within the past year. This is just within the past year that all this has happened.
Hold on. I mean,
And I've it's painful. It's absolutely painful.
so you're a cancer survivor.
Yes. Like I said, I did this once before on Charles's channel, and people really, really stepped up, and I'm going to need it again. And I need it now. And that's as simple as it gets. There's so much that I want to do for and with my family. And I've talked about this. I've mentioned this on my program, Snowman Unfiltered. When a man hits the wall and runs out of energy, now what? And that's about where I'm at. So, Charles, I want to say thank you. And I might have a chance to do Snowman Unfiltered tonight. It depends. But I saw it. I saw that you were on, and I have to try. So I figured I'd try. I mean, you guys have helped me before, and I need it again. Matter of fact, and it's bad. We need it bad.
We're going to try to help you as much as we can and try to reach out to a lot of different charities, a lot of different programs, and see if they can help you as well.
I will.
All right, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Charles.
Anytime, man.
I'll try and I got to do an interview with I have to file for SSDI. That's something I haven't thought about. I'll have to check that out. I'll do that after I tape my interview with Dave Ennett, the voice of the Northwestern Wildcats, that I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to
because there's a lot of people in here who knows how to file things. So, hey, put your email in the chat, and I'll make sure people can forward to you and hit you up. And what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We got the general in the building. When the fuck you gonna retire, General? Gonna retire. You know, the VA just recently gave me 50% disability. So I know how it is when you fight, and you gotta fight like a motherfucker to get your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The
don't
first.
forget, and Bay makes a good point. Look up some type of cancer relief because I know because you're a cancer survivor, there's some monies out there
Mhm.
and supports for you that you can receive.
I would definitely be researching that. Wife and I will research that. All
And
right.
here's the Snowman's email. If anybody got any information or if anybody wants to donate anything, there's his there's his here's his Cash App, and this is also his email to show him. Because guess what? There's some things that we don't know that somebody else in these chats and these programs know. And yes, brothers in here, like he said, exactly, brothers in here should be able to help you out one way or another. Like I said before, the trademark that I had to trademark because I know that shit's gonna be hot when I come out with the shirts and the sweaters this winter. It's gonna be my brother, my champion, my savior. And we have to be because if you haven't noticed, we don't have too many allies. Look at what they're
Oh,
doing with media. The
no,
general's
we don't.
been in the military probably close to 30 years, if
Mhm.
not 30 years. How many women did he see going to infantry now that they're allowed? How many women he think can beat a man in Ranger School? And you got to realize a lot of us are going through hard times, and you never know who's going through hard times. Some of us will tell you, but
Yeah.
as black men, we've always been taught if you're going through a problem, keep it to your goddamn self, and that's what kills
Yeah.
us, and that's what usually kills us. And before I close out, I want y'all to remember, man, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, man, because nobody's gonna give a fuck about us like us but us. And on that note,
Charles,
thank you, Bay, for
let me
coming
say,
up. Thank
let me
you.
say something real quick.
Go ahead.
You're former military, right, General? You
Let
former
me
military, right?
let me step on. Let me step
The
on
gen-
out so I can
Snowman.
do this interview.
The general, he's current military, as a matter of fact.
If y'all can
Okay.
help, I truly would appreciate it. And
No, because if you're former military, I got some friends over here at the VA. Because you know, Charles, I stay in the VA. Give me a
Oh,
couple days and let me find out what they can do through VA. If you're former military, I got some
well,
shit for you.
the Snowman's, he wasn't in the military,
Damn.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's some
Okay.
cancer research and some cancer relief places that he should be eligible for.
Yeah,
And the
but
federal government giving money out to some of the stupidest things, they should be able to help them. And if you have any information that I could pass along to the Snowman, here's my email as well. If you need to email me, and I'll make sure it gets to him. Here's the Snowman's, and here's mine.
because Ohio State does a lot of free help for people with cancer. We got the James, one of the best in the country. That's why I was asking because if you can get up to, man,
Yeah,
I'm thinking this brother was somewhere close to me where he can get to the James. If you can get to the James, you're in there.
yeah. I'm gonna shut down real quick. Get finished writing up this contract, trying to get some business going for my business. Thank you all for
Okay.
viewing. Thank you for watching. If you got any information that can help out the Snowman greatly or a donation, woo, please do it. Until next time, thank you for
Woo!
being great. Woo! And we out.
Love you, brother.
Love you, man.